Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Javier Sanchez and I am a solutions consultant for FileMaker. And today I'm going to introduce you to FileMaker Cloud. But before we get started, I have some brief housekeeping notes. For the best experience, we strongly recommend that you participate in this webinar with at least a broadband connection. If you have any problems or require online assistance at any time, please contact Citrix Technical Support by using the URL help.citrix.com/contact us. During today's presentation, you will have an opportunity to type in questions. It's very simple. You just need to go to the control panel of GoToMeeting, click on the questions section, enter your question, and click over send. We will cover as many questions as time allows at the end of my presentation. As you probably know, we announced the cloud in the US on September the 27th last year. We've seen a lot of good market reaction behind us. What we've done with FileMaker Cloud is taking the goodness that a traditional server provides to the cloud. And what we focus on is on bringing to the table a deployment process that is easy, fast, and smooth, as well as hassle-free. Another big change we've made is partnering with Amazon Web Services, commonly known as AWS. They are the market leader and have been the leader for the past 6 years, according to Gartner, on infrastructure as a service, better known as IaaS. Infrastructure as a service means that a third-party provider manages the compute, the services, the storage, the networking, and other resources, and you're simply running your custom apps on their environment. The exciting thing about this approach is that allows FileMaker to focus on product development. But then we leverage AWS as a key strength of being a great hosting provider. What we're doing is bringing the best of two worlds into one platform. Something else worth highlighting is that FileMaker Cloud is running on Linux. It is a CentOS OS running on Linux. The advantages that this brings are lower compute resources as well as lower cost from a licensing perspective. So to summarize, FileMaker Cloud is available on Amazon Web Services Marketplace and runs on the AWS Cloud. Allows you to easily share information with your team in the cloud and provides secure, reliable access to your custom apps. Currently, it is available in the United States, Canada, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Is FileMaker Cloud right for you? To find out if FileMaker Cloud is right for you, see if one or more of these situations applies to you and your business team. FileMaker Cloud helps you controlling hardware expenditures. Some people will refer to this as a capital expenditure or CapEx. Nowadays, for any server environment, you buy in all equipment, servers and network infrastructures upfront. And that is then maintained and managed on an ongoing basis. Sometimes this equipment can be in your books as an asset for 3 to 5 years. That is different for the FileMaker Cloud. If you want to control your cost management better from a hardware perspective, FileMaker Cloud is a great alternative to explore. The next point is that it eases service maintenance. If you look at a lot of organizations today, you've got resources that are wearing multiple hats. Some of them are wearing development or support as well as server administration hats. That requires time and effort to manage day-to-day tasks and troubleshoot from an ongoing basis. We've made some changes in FileMaker Cloud that can capitalize and maximize on the utilization of your resources. Third is that it enables immediate scaling. This is if you have immediate or seasonal needs to scale your deployment. Think, for example, of a scenario where a business is growing. The company needs to invest in new hardware infrastructure, which is again a capital expenditure, as well as downtime to their business operation. Meanwhile, they are migrating from server A to server B. With cloud, we've made a change there where you can scale up and down in a much easier way. Finally, FileMaker Cloud keeps your data secure. It protects your data by storing it outside. If you look at the world today, we've been experiencing more and more disasters where people are looking at offsite solutions to their backups and custom apps. Cloud is a great alternative as it is a global data center where data can be replicated to other data centers. Let's talk now about why FileMaker Cloud, about the features and benefits. I want to touch on 5 areas where you and your business can get benefit moving forward. The first one being speedy deployment. There's no need to set up hardware or install software, so you can be up and running in 20 minutes or less. If you think about all the complications related to deploying an on-premises server, buying a server box, set it up on a lab environment, install the OS, install FileMaker server and the components, and then configure it, and only then we deploy it. That takes time and effort. With FileMaker Cloud, we have removed all those obstacles by making the process much more simpler. I'll be showing you the necessary steps on the demo. Second area is security. One of the changes we've made to FileMaker Cloud is that as soon as you deploy in the cloud, you will get a 90-day Komodo security certificate. After the 90 days, you can choose to buy the certificate from Komodo, or otherwise, if you have another security vendor that you use, you can import their SSL certificate as well. Cloud supports industry standard SSL TSL level encryption. Let's talk now about minimal administrative overhead. You'll get the simplicity and performance of the FileMaker platform without spending time and resources deploying and maintaining a server. The product has built-in action-based information, but it contains as well proactive alerts. Let's review a couple of examples. Imagine an on-premises deployment where internal users are trying to upload a custom app and they can't. And they can't due not enough space being available on the server. They will then contact the system administrator and will have to wait until a disk is upgraded or more space is allocated on that server. With FileMaker Cloud, the cloud admin will get an email notification and will be able to decide whether or not he wants to upgrade the capacity. And it will be done just with the click of a button. Really straightforward. Another example, we can talk now about performance. You may have users complaining about the system performance after, for example, a growth on the user base. With FileMaker Cloud, we've made available through the power of notifications actions for the system administrator. They will be able to see that either the processor or memory are getting to a high percentage, and they can look at making an upgrade. Another advantage is the auto maintenance. To keep your system fine-tuned, a restart occurs automatically during non-business hours, so not to disrupt day-to-day operations. Plus, you'll benefit from automatic backups. When auto maintenance is enabled, a backup is preserved automatically every day. You can preserve as many backups as needed and then restore data from any preserved backup with the click of a button. This one is spot on. Cloud talks a lot about instant scalability. It is a clear selling point. With FileMaker Cloud, you can scale compute resources up as well as scaling down. This is very good for a seasonal business, as well for periods like quarter end, when you just need more power and then you can slow it down when you don't need it. We've kept your data and configuration on each deployment completely separate on a separate storage volume. This means with a click of a button, you can upgrade and downgrade your scalability of the instances, but your data configuration is already attached, which means then that in less than 10 minutes, you will have a more powerful or lower system to continue your business operations. And the same applies to storage. You start with 40 gigabytes, and as long as your business grows, you can upgrade it with a click of a button, which again helps you controlling your costs expenditures. Let's talk about low upfront hardware costs. With FileMaker Cloud, there's no upfront investment. Amazon Web Services can be a pay-as-you-go service, so you can control your usage and costs. If you use it for 4 hours, that's how much you're going to be billed. If you use it 24 by 7, that's how much you're going to be billed. One of the best benefits is that it frees up resources to focus on your own business development. Instead of finding the hardware, installing, and managing it, by running it on a complete infrastructure that is run by a market leader, it allows you resources to focus on what matters the most to you, your business. Plus, an additional benefit is that not having the servers on premises, there are no additional energy costs. FileMaker Cloud is the newest addition to the FileMaker platform. The FileMaker platform is a full line of products that give you all the tools you need to create custom apps that transform your business. You can create your apps with FileMaker Pro or FileMaker Pro Advanced. This is also how you run your apps on Mac and Windows and how you can share with very small teams. But then for teams of 5 or more, use FileMaker Cloud. So you can host your custom app through the Amazon Web Services Cloud. Or you can use FileMaker Server to host your custom app on-premise. To run your solutions on iPad and iPhone, you can use the free FileMaker Go app available from the App Store. And then to access your solution via a web browser, you can use FileMaker Web Direct, which is available as part of FileMaker Server. Let's talk a bit now about purchasing. To get up and running with FileMaker Cloud, you'll need to purchase both AWS services and FileMaker Cloud software. Let's go into more detail. These are the infrastructure services you'll be buying from AWS. FileMaker Cloud requires the purchase of Amazon EC2, which is the computing power you need to run your custom apps on FileMaker Cloud. You can think of it as the server that was running on-premise and now is running on the cloud. All purchases come with 40 gigabytes of elastic block storage, commonly known as EBS. Additional storage is available for purchase from AWS. The transfer of data from AWS to the internet, that they call data transfer out, is built based on usage. AWS doesn't charge for any traffic coming in, just for the traffic coming out. Then the first 1,000 email notifications each month are included in your purchase. Emails in excess of 1,000 a month are built based on usage. Here's an example of the cost of AWS services for 5 users and for 25 users. The first 1,000 email notifications are free, as I said, but then each additional 1,000 are billed at 10 cents of dollar per thousand. If you look at the table and we focus on the EC2 computing power, you can see that a T2 medium is billed at $38 per month. Then the EBS, which includes not only the custom app storage, not only your data storage, but also the snapshots, which are the backups, is billed at 10 cents per gigabyte. So if you use 80 gigabytes, that's around $8 per month. Then the data transfer is, and remember, it's only outbound, so no incoming. It's 9 cents per gigabyte. So calculating like you're transferring 13 gigabytes per month, that would be $1.30, which totals $48 per month. It's also worth to notice that if you look at the 25 users tier, uh, it is not proportional, so you're not paying 5 times what you pay for 5 users. In this case, for example, with those assumptions of uh, 130 gigabytes of storage and 60 gigabytes data transfer, you're looking at $98 per month. If you want to calculate these prices using AWS Simple Monthly Calculator, you can check them. This can vary depending on the region as well, so it is advisable to look at them before deciding on Ireland or Frankfurt or any other region. Here you can see 4 ways to purchase FileMaker Cloud software. There are 2 main groups: bring your own license or buy from AWS. Let's start with bring your own license. So the first way is buying a new license from FileMaker. The reason we did this is because in Amazon's marketplace, we only have 5, 10, 25, and 100 users SKUs. So if you needed something like 30, 35, or 50, then buying directly from FileMaker makes a lot of sense. It gives you the ability, and it's easy to scale up when you need more licenses. The second one is bringing your existing annual license to FileMaker Cloud, and this has 3 key licensing scenarios. If you have annual FLT licenses or concurrency annual, minimum of 5, or an annual site license, then they can be converted into cloud licenses. As part of the conversion, will allow you to keep running your FileMaker server during 30 days. So to help you with transition, migrating data from server to cloud. The third case is if you have a perpetual license. Then you will have to contact your local sales team and then convert it to annual FLT or annual concurrency before you bring it to FileMaker Cloud. Then the fourth one is buying directly from AWS. And remember what I said, the SKUs are 5, 10, 25, or 100 users. But one of the things we are doing in the AWS marketplace is that you can also buy the software on an hourly basis. This brings several advantages. You can allow your prospects to test your application, and for example, and as a developer, you can continue to test and develop your applications. If you want to review the purchase process for each of the 4 ways to buy FileMaker Cloud, we have 4 separate videos available. They are around 8 minutes long and walk you through all the setup process. You can access these videos from the Cloud section at the Products tab in our website. The other way is going directly to YouTube and search for FileMaker Cloud. We have made a playlist available containing all the videos. In terms of requirement, we do have a requirement for the clients. FileMaker Pro, FileMaker Pro Advanced need to be at least 15.0.2. There are 15-day trials available. Trials of FileMaker Cloud are available on AWS Marketplace, and you can choose from the 5, 10, 25, and 100 users SKUs. You'll need to add a credit card during this process, and bear in mind the software is free, but AWS charges for these services. You'll need to cancel by the end of the 15-day period in order not to incur in additional charges. And also, if you have an instance from AWS running, remember to stop it when you finish your trial period so you don't end up paying extra to Amazon. Right, so now that we know what is FileMaker Cloud and how does it work with AWS, I want to show you a demo on how to find it in the marketplace, in the Amazon marketplace, and how to start deploying it, and how does it look in the FileMaker Cloud console. First of all, let me show you how to go to Amazon's marketplace. You will need to type in this URL in your web browser, aws.amazon.com/marketplace, like I have here. And then from the main page in AWS Marketplace, if we want to find FileMaker options, we just need to search on the top for FileMaker, and we'll get the results. So here you see all the products that FileMaker Cloud can offer. So the different tiers of users, so from 5 to 10, 25, and 100. You can see that there's a free trial on all of them, and also the option to bring your own license. Then if you choose any of those, you'll be able to see additional options. So let's go for the 5 users one. And once it's loaded, you can see different options here. On the right hand side, you can see that you can change the region. So you have all the available regions here. You can go, for example, to Ireland, and then you can also change the pricing model from hourly to annual. And if you go hourly, for example, you see the different EC2 prices. It's important to notice that if I change from Ireland, for example, now to Frankfurt, these prices are different, right? So it's something you want to look at. Also, in terms of region, if you want to check which region is more convenient for you, I've brought a website to show you, cloudping.info. Here you can test Amazon Clouds and get a ping from their servers, so you can see your latency. So you can see here that I'm as close more or less to Ireland to Frankfurt. So any of those will work well for me. This is something you can test yourselves. Also here on this page, you can see that there are all the different options of instance, easy to install from small to and for large. So you can see all the prices. And here on the third options, you can see the total hourly price. If you click on this link, it will show you a page with more information from Amazon Web Services, which is very interesting if you want to learn on AWS. One thing I didn't say on the keynote is you need to bear in mind, apart from in terms of the EBS, apart from the hard disk, you also will end up paying for the snapshots. So you need to keep that in mind as well, the space for the backups. Okay, so once you've seen the basic information, if you decide to go on with the purchase, you have to click on continue to go to the next page. And this next page is where you decide whether you're going in terms of software for hourly or annual. And if you're going for annual, you will need to select which instance type you want to set up. Also, of course, you have the same information on the right hand side in terms of pricing, changing the region, so you can see just before you buy pricing. If I scroll down a bit here, you can see these launchers for EC2 consoles. Bear in mind, this is not what you use to create your first instance. These launchers are for reserved instances. There is a possibility given by AWS to buy reserved instances, and also they have discounted prices for those. And then if you buy a reserve instance, once you want to launch it, you will come here and then you click on the button to launch your reserve instance. In this case, we're going to go here to usage instructions. We haven't bought any instance yet, so we're going to buy one. So I'm going to click on usage instructions, and the next thing is I will select which region do I want to use. As you can see on the top, there are all the steps that you need to follow. So you will click on continue, accept the terms. I want 90 seconds, and it goes till the end when you will get finally an email. I'll show you in a second all the steps. So let me just click in Ireland, and it will bring me to a different page. Here, this is using the cloud or the FileMaker cloud template, so no need to change anything on this stage. The only thing you need to do is go to next, and here's where you personalize a bit your stack. So in order to be here, you will have created your AWS account. I have logged in with mine, as you can see on the top right, and here is where you create the stack name. If you are not familiar with Amazon terms, AWS terms yet, a stack is where all the EC2, the EBS, all the components, they stay together. So they belong to the same stack. So I'm going to create a test stack now for this. Then you need to provide an email address for this stack. And then you select the instance type. In the instance type, select T2 small, for example. And then this, the key name, which are the key pairs. It's an important bit as well of the setup. This is something you can do from your Amazon account. So you need to create them in your Amazon account. I'll show you in a second how to do it. So you, first of all, you create that and then it will appear on the list. So I'm going to select mine, FM Northern, to keep with this process. And I'm going to click on next. If you're not an advanced user, you don't need to touch anything here. But if you are an advanced user and you want to create your own IAM role, or you can create key pairs and values, you can do it from here. Otherwise, just click on next. And at the end, it will show you a review of the chosen options. So you just need to click on acknowledge and create. And when you create, you'll receive an email. I'll show you in a second how it looks like. So let me first show you from my Amazon console. If I go, for example, to EC2, where can you find the keepers? Where can you create them? So here on the list on the left-hand side, if I go down to network and security, one of the options is keepers. So I can just click in keeper, and then you'll see the ones that you have created, and you can create a new one. So it's very simple, very straightforward. Now let me just jump back to the keynote for a second. And here you can see a sample of the email that you would be receiving once you have clicked on create at the end of that process. The process to create a stack lasts more or less 15 minutes, around 15 minutes, and then you receive this email after 15 minutes. Once you receive this email, you have to click on what it says here, and it will drive you to the next page. This page, something that will look like this, example one, where you will have to type in your Amazon account. That's the one you've seen on the top right of my browser. I'll show you it again in a second. And then you'll type in the DNS name of your instance, whatever you choose. And it's going to be something like the name you choose, .fmi.filemaker cloud.com. Then you will choose also a password for the cloud console, and you'll change the time zone, and then click on setup. After you click setup, the cloud deployment itself will take something between 4 and 5 minutes. And then after the 4 or 5 minutes, you will have to wait, not closing the browser until it finishes. And once it's done, it will take you to the login screen. When you type in your cloud DNS URL, you will be presented with this login window. You can then type in your email address that you have chosen and your password. And this process will log you into your Amazon account. First of all, if it's the first time you're logging in, you'll see this uh, opt-in registration form. I do strongly recommend you to click on yes for sending journal and event log information to FileMaker in for technical support purposes. This means by doing this, you're allowing our support team to be able to access the logs in case we need to help you with any case. Sending crash report data allows us to make the product better, so I also recommend you to do that. Opting to receiving priority notifications of special events and promotional offers is completely up to you. And then you'll need to submit your details, or you can do this later otherwise. Right, so this is the cloud console. Uh, Quickly, you can see on the bottom right that you've got system statistics, very useful. You can choose between CPU statistics, memory, and network. Here on the left-hand side, you'll see information about the space used, uh, how much total storage you've got, and also on the top here you see all the information for your instance, so the host name you have chosen, the server actual IP address, which cloud version is being used in your instance, the ID of the instance, which type of instance, and also the OS memory, alongside with the time zone information and the connections. So this is the main window where you can see all these details. If I scroll a bit up, you'll see that in the top left there are different menus. We'll see them in a second. But it's also important to know that in the top right, you've got notifications. So from here, notifications, you can see alerts. For example, we will be telling you if the memory usage has exceeded 80%, but also here you'll find updates. So if we launch a new version, you'll be able to click on the update from here. And again, it's quite straightforward. If we go to the second tab, databases, here's the list of available databases. In this case, there are none, but in a second we'll upload something, so you'll see it here. Also, the third option are backups. So once you have some files there, you'll see here the list of backups, and you can do things like, for example, preserve a backup, so it won't be deleted, or you can change the label if you want to give it a different name, like a good copy or whatever you want to choose. As you can see here, the backup schedule is every 20 minutes, but also you have the option to backup now. So you click on the bottom and the backup will be executed at the moment instantly. The fourth tab here is configuration. So you have all the configuration summary and you have different options. So first of all, the system configuration is the one, many details that were on the main page, but also details on connections and sessions here. Um, the plugins, you can disable or enable plugins, and also for Web Direct. You can manage the passwords and users that have access to the admin console, set up the email notifications, and manage your SSL certificates. As we were discussing on the keynote, by default there is a 90 days certificate installed for you, is this Komodo certificate. After the 90 days, you will have to renew it or buy a new one. The last option is setting up ODBC data sources here. Now, on the last tab, subscription, this is an important tab because from here you can see the user connections or go to the Amazon Marketplace. Also, you can change your instance settings. So let's say you feel that you're getting the processor at maximum capacity very often. You want to upgrade to a different machine. Let's say we're going from small to medium. So you'll do it directly from here. Same for storage settings. You can change them from here. And finally, the subscription center allows you to download all the clients. So you can see you have a download, FLT download for macOS, Windows, 32 and 64-bit clients, FileMaker Go, WebDirect, uh, anything, anything you need here. Right, so let's have a look at uploading a file to my cloud instance. Let me start by opening my FileMaker Pro. I will create a new custom app, for example, from the templates, get started. I'm going to select, for example, the contacts starter solution. Now, if I want to upload this custom app to the cloud, I will do it the same way as I will upload a file to FileMaker servers, just by going to File, Sharing, Upload to FileMaker server, or from here, Share, Upload to FileMaker server. I will need to set up a password for the file, just to ensure it's secure, and then I will see all the list of favorite hosts. What I've done before is I have added my cloud server to my list of favorite hosts, so now it's on the list. And the user and password that I need to set up here, to use here, are the ones from my cloud console. So in my case, it's my email address and the password that I set up when setting up the cloud. So after typing this, I can click on next and upload the file to the cloud. After the file uploading is finished, you'll see a little alert here under status. Once you have uploaded a file to the cloud, it's not opened straight away because it needs an administrator, as you can see on the message, to open it. The reason is because once you have a file on the cloud, it will require to have an encryption password. So if I go back now to the cloud console, you'll see that there's already a database here. If I go to databases and I try to open it, now that I'm the administrator, of course, it will ask me to set up an encryption password. And the password must have between 8 and 128 characters, and it must include 3 of these 4 character types. So uppercase, lowercase, numbers. So let me just set up a different one here. So it has to be a strong password, and then you can type a hint if you want, and you can even save the password for the file. Okay, so now that I've opened the file, I can access it from my FileMaker Pro. So let's try it. I'm gonna go back to FileMaker Pro, File, Open Remote, and here it is, the file in my cloud, under my server my cloud. So I'm gonna open it and type in the password, so I'll be connected to it. Right, you can see that here is the name of my cloud server, the name I chose. Let me close this. If I come back here to the console, where it says databases, you can see now that there is additional information. So now there is a user connected. I can see it's my MacBook Pro, and also you can see also the duration of the connection. From here now, if I go back to the dashboard, here where it says FileMaker Pro, on the connection it says 0, same for Go, same for FileMaker Web Direct. But then if you look a bit more down, here on the right hand side, you'll see 1, additional connections. So here you can always use these question marks to see help, and it means that I'm connected for a FileMaker Pro Advanced computer licenses. So it's not one of the copies downloaded from the subscription. So if you're downloading from here the clients, there will be FLT clients and they will appear here under FileMaker Pro when they are connected. In my case, because I'm accessing from a perpetual license, it is appearing from here, from additional connections. So something to look after. A couple more things I wanted to tell you about the Cloud Console. So if I go back to databases, if I now show you this database that has been uploaded to the cloud, you see that now when I close it, I can download it if I want, but I cannot download it unless it is closed. And finally, from subscription, something that is quite useful in the subscription center, we've got the system logs. So you can click next to system logs and you can download the different logs if you want to have additional information on your cloud system. Okay, so this is the end of today's presentation. As an attendee today, you'll have an AWS credit code. These codes can be used for Amazon EC2, the computing power, and other AWS services to go along with the 15-day FileMaker Cloud software trial. Each code is worth $25, and is intended to cover an EC2 of T2 medium, 64 gigabytes of storage, and 100 megabytes of data transfer for 15 days. AWS codes are available while supplies last, so if you're interested, don't miss the opportunity and request your code soon. This link will be included in our webinar follow-up email. In addition to this webinar, which will be recorded, here are some resources you may find helpful to learn more about FileMaker Cloud. The first one is under our products section in FileMaker.com, and will give you additional information on FileMaker Cloud. From there, you can also access two very useful links, one being a comparison between FileMaker Cloud and FileMaker Server, and the other FileMaker Cloud technical specifications. Also, you can find in our website a link from purchase to the common FAQs. And if you're interested in watching more videos, we've created a playlist in YouTube. You can find the link below, and I will send you the link also in our follow-up email. And this is containing all cloud-related videos. Once again, thank you for attending today's webinar, and I hope you enjoy the cloud. Now, let's see if there are any questions I can help with. If you have a question and haven't typed it yet, please go now to the Questions tab in GoToMeeting and click on Send after typing it.